Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's Society of Spines book club pick, which was How High We Go in the Dark. How is everybody doing? I did promise that there was going to be a name for the book club, um, and well, by the time we did this discussion, and I'm happy to say that there is one, so that's great. I'm really shiny. I don't know why that is happening, but never mind. Um, I feel like I'm a bit more prepared this time round because I wasn't hugely prepared last time because I thought I was going to be on a live with someone else and ended up doing it by myself. But this time round, I am a bit more prepared. So yeah, there was also a bit of a thing with my live. For some reason, it said that it was going to be at 8:30 instead of 8. So I'm sorry if you're come to watch this and the live is finished and it's 8:30 that you thought it was going to be on at. I don't really know what happened with that. It was a bit bizarre. So yeah. So what miserable weather we are having. It has been terrible weather all day. Wherever you are, what has the weather been like? At this moment in time, I'm speaking to myself, but never mind. Um, I'm just going to kind of get into it and just kind of go a little bit into the book. I've popped everything on my phone so that I can just read through it. So a summary of it. Now there was some trigger warnings, so if you are coming into this and you haven't read How High We Go in the Dark, then it's maybe time to leave because we are going to be talking about spoilers and things and discussing the book. So if you do not want to be spoiled and you want to read it, then I'd advise not listening to this at this moment in time. So there was content warnings for this, um, for illnesses, deaths, and funeral type things, and also a pandemic. Hello, how are you? Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my notifications. I was just saying that for some reason on my channel it said that it was scheduled at 8:30, but on my StreamYard it was actually scheduled at 8. So I don't really know what was going on with that. But yeah, so a brief summary of the book. Hey Steph. Um, yeah, so I thought that it was organized, but who knows? Um, so the book is about following a group of characters who are in the aftermath of a pathogen that has entered the world and has basically, through a global warming situation going on, and it's just like a big plague. Now, we can all kind of relate to that because we were in that situation not so long ago and are also still living in it, but in a very different way. But it begins with a scientist in the plague site and it ends with an intergalactic being who's responsible for creating Earth. It explores quite a lot of different things. It explores grief quite heavily, love, and the community in the face of global catastrophe, which again is something that we have all lived through. What was everybody's ratings of it? No. Oh no, I hope you're feeling okay. Oh, I hope it passes really quick as well. Just as we were speaking about the C word and how we're still living in it, and you've got it just now. Is this the first time you've had it? I really hope it's not bad and that you feel better soon. Um, are you happy to listen to the spoiler things, or oh, I'm so sorry that you're not well. That really sucks. It sucks that we are still living in a world where we have to deal with that and face the C word. It's really rubbish. Um. So yeah. What did everybody rate it? I need to remember what I rated it because I finished it. Was it last week? I think I finished it. No, it's like the third time. It's been a rough week, but I'm hoping it passes quick too. I really hope that you feel better soon. The third time, my God, I've been quite lucky. I've only had it once. But I don't have the best immune system in the world, so it hit me quite hard. And I am like constantly using hand sanitizer and avoiding people like the plague because people are plagued. So yeah, that's really rubbish, and I hope you're going to be better soon. Yeah, I'm happy to be spoiled. I read a quick summary of the chapters I haven't read. Okie doke. Steph, what did you rate the book? I'm just logging on to my Goodreads now because I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars. Let's see. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I can't rate it yet, but at the moment I'm feeling a 3. It's an easy read, but the more I read, the harder I find it to feel invested with the constant head swapping. I really want to talk about that because I really struggled with where the story was going, and I felt like I was quite confused. I felt like I was a little bit stupid when I was reading this book just because I felt like I couldn't follow it properly. Um I don't know if you guys felt the same way. It just felt like there was so much jumping about. I really liked the premise of it though, and I think there was parts of it that was really well executed. But the ending for me, I just felt a bit lost towards the end. I only finished it this afternoon. I'm stuck between a 2 and a 3 star. It was good, but not my type of book, and I was confused at points. Oh, I'm really glad that I'm not the only one because Daniel is currently reading this, but he's only like 40 or 50 pages through, so he hasn't finished it because ideally what our plan was he was going to finish it and we were going to do live together and speak to you guys about it, but he did not finish it. He's been really busy with work and stuff, so he's just not had a chance to finish it. But I do want him to finish it and see if he has a better understanding of it than I did, because I really want to talk about it, which is why I'm excited to be here today to talk about it. I'd also like to apologise. Obviously, the live show was meant to be yesterday, but now this might sound a bit bizarre and I don't know how people feel about this topic, but I managed to get hold of free tickets to see a clairvoyant last night. And it's not something I've done before. And there was like 40 people in the room and it was quite intimate. And this person called Annie Moon, who's like someone near here that is apparently really good at clairvoyant, and she goes around the room and does readings for random people. She did one of my sister and it was like so accurate. It was terrifying. So yeah, that is the reason why I had to cancel at short notice and reschedule for today, so I'm very sorry. But with it being spooky season and stuff, I thought October is probably the time to go and do this. But yeah, that's enough about that. I'm just wanting to let you know that that is why the live show did not happen last night. Steph says that's how I felt. I was like, who are we following and where are we right now? Yeah, I did feel really confused. I feel like there was Clara, the main character. She was at the start. She was a scientist, I think. And then there was Annie, the person that was found frozen. And then they did tests on Annie. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that was the first part of the story. It was just very confusing. Let me have a look at my notes and see. Yeah, so Clara was on the research team at the archaeological dig, and she discovered the humanoid girl's body that was Annie. Um, mm, yeah, Annie was named after Annie Lennox. Yes, yes. You definitely felt that way too. I've heard of her. Oh, have you, Steph? Apparently, like I quite fancy getting like a private reading from Annie Moon. But she's got like a crazy waiting list. But I was speaking to my mom about it, and my mom wants to go and stuff as well. So, yeah. That's why I cancelled last night and rescheduled, because it was an opportunity that I just thought I need to go to this. And everyone that I've spoken to about it was like, "Oh my god, Annie Moon," and I was like, I didn't know so many people knew who I was talking about, but yeah. I also didn't like some of our main characters' perspectives in the middle. I know they were just human making human mistakes, but like that also made it hard to care. Yeah, I felt quite disconnected with the characters. I felt like there wasn't a lot holding them together. It was very focused on the grief, I felt, which was fine, because that was the impact that I think the author was trying to come across, is like grief is an awful thing, and they're living in a world where death is pretty much imminent and no one is safe from this plague, and people are getting sick from it, and they're trying to make the best possible ending for them. They're obviously making money off the funeral services, and basically living in a world where it's just all focused on selling things that'll happen like when you die. And I mean, we live in a world where we have funeral services and stuff, but you don't see like adverts on the TV. I mean, you hear some adverts on the radio and stuff, but it was very, very focused on grief. And I think the author focused so much on that that the characters lacked a little bit, and you didn't feel as much compassion for them. That's kind of how I felt with it. Annie was the little girl, patient zero. Clara wasn't our MC, though. We got it from her dad's perspective. Do you know what's funny? I didn't even pick up that was the dad of Clara. And I even said to Daniel at one point that I really struggled to even realize that I was reading from a male's perspective. I just wasn't getting that impression at all. And then it took me by surprise when he was having a relationship with the woman. And I still didn't realize that it was a guy. I thought it was two women having a relationship. And then as I was going through it more, I then figured out that it was a man, which is very strange. Like I've never felt like I didn't know who the MC was. Like it was quite bizarre. Um yeah, I didn't feel like a grief-based short story collection with a few name drops connecting them. Yeah, it did feel very much like that. I have heard very mixed reviews about this book. I have heard that people absolutely loved it. And then I thought these people are just very smart and obviously had a really good understanding of that. And I am not one of those people. um, but yeah, it was really grief based. And I think it explained grief quite well. But one aspect of the book that I did really like the idea of, and I've never really heard about it before, is the theme park where they take young children who are really sick, and how they basically, um obviously trigger warnings and everything. You guys have read the books, you know the general premise. But for those who are watching that are not have not read it, when they go into the roller coasters and they're based in what I can't even speak today, they are basically euthanized. Um, I thought that was a really interesting concept. I've never really read or heard or watched anything that had that like general idea on it, and it was kind of soothing in a way. For I mean, it sounds horrific from the parents like taking them to a theme park for that to happen, but like the idea of taking them there to enjoy their last moments and have fun and just be a kid and not have the pressure of being really unwell and like focusing on how sick and everything they are, and just having a nice day, and then that being their last memory. I thought that was quite beautiful in a way. I mean, it's horrific that they had to go through that because they had the illnesses and everything, but I just thought it was quite a beautiful way to help with that situation of kids being so sick. Um it was just a very clever idea, I thought. That was probably my favourite part of the book. Not the fact that that had to happen, but that whole idea and the story around that. I really enjoyed that. Definitely agree. Forgot about the theme park. I feel like that happened so early on in the book as well. And then I think after the theme park bit, it just kind of dipped for me. I didn't really feel like I followed the story that much after it. I felt like that section of the book, I was just going like I was properly immersed into it. And then after that, I just didn't really feel like I was connected in any way, shape, or form. That chapter did really stand out to me. Really interesting idea. It really was, and I thought it was. I thought it was really good. And I really felt for the mother. My mom works with sick and terminally ill kids, and it felt really real. The emotions. That is, like I was saying, that is the only part of the book that I feel like I felt genuine sorrow for these people and was really upset for them. And it put my brain into the perspective of thinking, if I had a terminally ill child, would I be able to take them to the theme park? And I think as well, seeing all the other parents, obviously watching them go on to the roller coaster and knowing what's gonna happen, and their children obviously don't know what's gonna happen, and they've seen their children sick for so long, and they see them for this day having so much fun. I just think that it's just beautiful. That's the best way I can kind of describe it. Is it was just a beautiful way to do it, but the sorrow that those parents must have felt knowing that they're making that decision, it must be so hard. I really liked the part, and if it had been all along those lines, I might have enjoyed it more. I agree. If that had been what the story was based around, that would have probably been one of my favorite books of the year. Which is quite a bold statement, but I enjoyed that part of the story so much. And I feel the same, that if the whole book had been centered around the theme park and those characters, I would have absolutely loved it. Loved it. I think giving it 4 stars is maybe quite strong. It's maybe more a 3.5 for me. Now that I'm discussing it with you guys. But I think that theme park bit is what stole my heart with the book. And then afterwards I was like, what am I reading? And I did struggle to get through the last bit, even though it's like only 290 pages or something. I really struggled to get through the last bit because I just thought, I don't know what's going on. I didn't connect in any way, shape, or form. I got to the end, I was kind of like, don't know what's just happened. So again, our perspectives, that chapter was more distance than it could have been. Yeah. I agree. If the book had been about the plague from like one parent's perspective, including the park and dealing with her grief after in a real way, that would have been more interesting for me. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that that is what that book should have been. That is the potential that this book could have had, and it would have been amazing. But don't get me wrong, like there was parts of the book that I did really enjoy, but pretty much after that point, I just really struggled. What did everybody think of the ending? Because to be perfectly honest, just try to see what my notes are for the ending. I really just didn't. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. Let me see. What have I written for the ending? Yeah, when they were going to study Earth's potential, and that the little girl was heartbroken that her mother had to leave to accompany Earth and monitor its development and stuff. And she lands on Earth as an ancestor to a starfish, waiting eons for evolution to pass. Say what? What? So you go to Earth, become a starfish, and wait thousands and thousands of years to become a human being, but you're leaving your daughter behind for that. Are you ever going to see your daughter again? Because you're a starfish. What? Oh my goodness. I don't even remember the ending. Yeah. What else did I have for notes here? I don't really actually have anything else regarding the ending. That was all I took from the ending, was you became a starfish. Yep. I did skim through the last chapter, so I don't have a full opinion, but I wasn't a fan. Even if you'd read the full chapter, I still don't think it would make any sense to you, because it was really bizarre, in my opinion. It was really, really strange. So I'm not a big fan of the trope of all these famous things in technology and history. It was aliens, Galileo, best friend, alien, Isaac Newton, all his best ideas are alien. What else have I put note-wise? I didn't make a lot of notes for this book now on reflection after looking through it. I did take note of some quotes though. So this was from chapter 2, and I really, really liked it. It said, "Thank you for giving us a way to say goodbye. We didn't want him to die in some hospital overflow centre," the father said, pulling me close, whispering one of my giant mouse ears. "I know you're just doing your job, but you gave us one more day with our boy." That really impacted me because, like I was saying, I just thought that it was so beautiful that they had that way to help their child to the next life or wherever they go to. Also, it really didn't feel alien in perspective, if that makes sense. She seemed to just have the same human feelings and perspectives about all of her children, which felt off to me. Yeah, I agree. It was a bit bland. Like, there wasn't a lot of character development. The more I speak about this, the less stars I want to give it. But yeah, I think it's good when you read a book that you didn't love though, and we talk about it, because if we all read a book and absolutely love it, then it's really difficult to kind of like analyze it the way that we are today. So yeah, and book clubs are like hit or miss. Like, some months it's going to be a book that everybody loves, and then other months it's going to be a book like this where we can't really decide how we feel about it or how it was. What else did I write here? Yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote about this. One of my favourite characters from the book, and we haven't spoken about them yet, the pig. What does everybody think about the pig part? And try to save the pig, and how the pig could talk and had feelings and emotions. That was really bizarre, but I really liked that part. And I felt the pig's emotions and the confusion and the misunderstanding of not realizing what the pig's purpose was on, like, their life was, and how they tried to save the pig so that the pig was not destined to go where the pig was meant to go. I really liked that. I totally forgot about the talking pig until this moment in time. Yeah, I get that. I think, like you said, the hardest part about rating it is that some chapters were great and some were a waste of time, and they were also disconnected. And you didn't even finish the book, and you have the same thoughts and feelings. So I don't know if you want to DNF that book now and just not read the end of it, because I feel like that's time you can't get back. Oh yeah, what was his name? It was something really good. Was it not Notorious P.I.G.? I think it was Notorious P.I.G., which, chef's kiss, that was amazing. I did really like the talking pig. I feel like that could be why it's 4 stars for me. Just the pig alone. The end of that chapter did also give me all the feels. Yeah. That was really sad. That was really sad. LOL, maybe it's just so short. I feel like I have to power through. I mean, I struggle to DNF. I'm not very good at DNFing books, so I feel you. I got all the way to the end of it, and I feel as well, because it's a book club pick, I need to read all of it, so that I can discuss it for those that do finish it and enjoy it. But I don't know. If I was just reading it normally, I think I would have maybe DNF'd it if we weren't discussing it. Which sounds bad, and I've given it 4 stars. I think I really need to reassess my thinking. Yes, that's it. Best Boy. If I wasn't reading it for book club, then I may have DNF'd the book, which I feel like I don't remember much of it. Yeah, that's basically just what I was saying, Steph, as well. And I think I might have to go back and really think about what my rating of this book is, because the more we talk about it, the less I think I love it. And I feel like the really good parts of the book, which is a very small part of it, doesn't justify it being a 4 star. But I think in my head, I was like, oh my God, but that bits were great because I remembered them. Whereas the rest of the book, I couldn't remember it. So I was just kind of like, blanket, yeah, 4 star, that's fine. Which is a really weird way of rating a book. But yeah, does anybody have any other thoughts on this book? I'm kind of out of notes because, like I said, I didn't really get most of it. People that love this book must see something totally different from it that I do. That's why I'm hesitating giving it 3 stars. It started strong and then just got more mediocre for me so far. Yeah, the start of it, I was so immersed in it and I was loving it and I was turning the pages and I was really enjoying it. And then I got to like after the theme park and I was just kind of like, is this the same book? Was this written by the same person? Did 2 people write this book? It really felt like the first part of the book was written by somebody totally different that wrote the end of the book. Or this author had so many ideas in their head. They only want to write one book in the world, so they decided to just merge everything together and just kind of clusterfuck it together. That's kind of how I felt about it. But yeah, if anyone's got any other thoughts or any other points to discuss, we can discuss. And then I'm excited to talk about next month's book, because I've not read it before, and I've heard very good things about next month's book. Well, this month because we're in October. And also, are you guys reading this month's book? And also, what do you think of the book club's name? It took me a little while to come to it, but I want to know your thoughts. How does everybody feel about the name of the book club and next month's book club? Well, this month's book club pick. I also felt like the time skips made it difficult to understand the scope of the plague, like it was children only, then inclined to adults. And I don't know how that happened. Yeah, that's actually a fair point. It started where it only affected children and then progressed and then humans, as if children aren't humans, that's not what I meant. And then adults just magically got it. But then that's the same as what happened with the plague thing that we have in the world. It only was affecting older people and then obviously it progressed. So I think with like viruses and things like that, obviously it evolves, and when it goes from person to person it becomes more resilient to certain things and will attack different things and basically mutate. But I only have that understanding from obviously living through the COVID pandemic, but in the book I don't feel like it explains that very well. So yeah, and since most of the grief is focused around it, it felt like something I should get. I mean, unfortunately, everybody in the world will experience grief, and I think we all have our own understandings of grief and how we deal with grief and how it affects us mentally, physically, in all aspects of our life. And I think it's an important topic to talk about, but I think that we just needed better character development to feel the grief more in this book, in my opinion. I'm excited for the next book. It's more my type of book. Well, I just thought it's October. Let's get a little thriller on the go. Ruth Ware has been sitting on my bookshelf for God knows how long. I mean, it's a hardback copy that I have as well, so that probably goes to show how long I've had that for. And I've just never picked it up. And I thought, what better time to pick it up than for the Society of Spines? And that works with the spooky season. But yeah, does everybody else like the name, or have I just made up a name that everybody's a bit like, I don't know. I was thinking in November if someone would like to pick a book for November. I'm quite open to other people choosing the books. I feel like there's a lot of pressure choosing book club books, because I'm scared that it's terrible, because I always pick books that I've never read before. So if anyone has any suggestions for November, then please send me a message and let me know. Yeah, I got that it was a random mutation, but why was it a child for so many years? A whole theme park could be built, and then in the next chapter, it's just killing adults now. I don't know, just a nitpick. I never actually really thought of it in that aspect. Like, a theme park is not going to be built in like a couple of days. So obviously that has planning permission, like has to be designed. Like, that takes years and years. So I never actually looked at it from that perspective, that it was only affecting children for so long. And obviously adults were able to work at the theme park as well with like no risk. And I don't feel like there was a lot of like PPE or anything. And like their parents were in the same rooms as them. So yeah, it's quite strange that all of a sudden it just kind of went from children to adults. Yeah, I agree with you, but I just never looked at it from that point of view. I'm also excited for the next book. Good, good. I'm glad. Hopefully, when we come to speak about next month, well, this month's book, keep saying next month because I think I'm still in September. I'm really not. It's October. But yeah, I think that it's quite exciting to read a book that I feel like hopefully we're all going to love. I feel like I had this book at some point in time, but no idea where it went. I love the book club name. Thank you. Not to put down your name, but it did kind of sound like a back doctor's conference to me. Yes. Yes. It took me a second to figure out what you were meaning there. Yes. I thought this is probably going to sound like a convention that a group of doctors go to, and it's like the Society of Studying Spines and Spinal Injuries and Spinal Cords. But it is a book reference, and yeah, it could be confused for something else. So yeah, I'm so glad that I didn't think that, because I actually said that to Daniel when I said the Society of Spines, and he was kind of like, what, like a doctor that studies backs? And I was like, no, as in like a book spine. Fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed. We do love this book. I will probably be doing the live show at the beginning of November. But like I said, I will take any suggestions for the book club pick for November. If there's a certain like type of book that you want the book club to be reading, then let me know as well. If you like thrillers more, if you like horror things, like I'm quite open to everything apart from historical fiction. If it's a historical fiction pick, I will DNF it and probably not read it, or it'll take me 10 years to read it because I'm terrible with historical fiction. That is one genre that I cannot stand. I just cannot do it. I love the fact that other people enjoy it. I cannot for the life of me get into historical fiction. But yeah, we could become a themed book club if you want. I am not opposed to that. I've just been picking books off my bookshelf that I've either had for a little while, or they're just a book that not a lot of people have talked about, just to change it up a little bit, because I know a lot of online book clubs, there seems to be like a common theme of being popular books or books that have just come out, or doing read-alongs of like a series and things. So I'm quite happy if this wants to become a thriller book club or anything like that. I am totally down for that. And because you guys have been here from the start, I would like your input, and I would like to take on board and put it into fruition. Because I feel like we are like the little originals of the Society of Spines, and I love that. And you guys are always here, and we're always talking about it, and you're just always showing up for sprints and things as well. So I feel like everybody's opinion in this group is really good, and I think we should all work together, and we can come up with ideas of where you would like the book club to go. Like I said, it's quite new. We're just finding our feet, but I'm quite happy to do all together. I'm open to anything except romance. Anything else I'll give a chance. I really enjoy romance. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't pick a romance book for a book club because I know romance is not everybody's cup of tea, which is why I've tried to be doing like literary fiction. Ugh, it's been a day. It's been a day today. I don't understand historical fiction. I second that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand people love it, but I don't understand where their love for it comes from. Same with historical fiction films. No. If it's got war in it, I'm out. I'm not a massive romance person either. Well, that's cool. None of the book club picks are going to be romance. There might be a book club pick that has a romance in it, but that is not primarily going to be the theme of the book. So don't worry, I'm never going to make you read romances and hate them, and then also hate me, and then leave the book club. The original spines in this society, we are indeed. We are indeed. And it's great fun. I know that it's really small, and I know that other online book clubs and like channels are usually quite a lot bigger and more established when it comes to running book clubs and things. But I just wanted to start a book club, and I was going to probably be speaking by myself is what I thought was going to happen, and it didn't. But yeah, I just think it's nice. If it grows in the future, then that's great. But us three are the original spines, which is really cool. But yeah, does anyone have anything else before I nip off? I feel like I want to watch a horror movie, but I'm not really sure what I want to watch. I watched Scream the other day, so I don't know if I want to watch the second one. Not sure. I've been really enjoying our discussion so far. Really looking forward to the next one. I've really been enjoying them as well, and it's really good to see other people's perspectives. And like for the fact that Clara's dad was the main character in a part of the book, and I didn't even realize that connection. Like that just went way over my head. It's so nice to see it from that point of view, and I think it just gives a better understanding of books. And if we hate it, it gives us a lot of stuff to talk about. And if we love it, it also gives us a lot of stuff to talk about it. And the cool thing about book club as well is not everybody has the same opinion. And that's what makes it great, speaking about books, because if someone hates it, you can find out why they hate it and look at it from their perspective and be like, oh, wait, okay, that makes sense. It's been making me pick up books I wouldn't normally, so I've enjoyed finding new books to read. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's books that I probably wouldn't have just randomly picked up off the shelf if it wasn't for book club. So I would have bought them and they would have sat on my shelf for a long time. So that's been good. Does anyone have any suggestions for November? I mean, it can be preferably not like new books, because I don't want it to be that people have to go out and buy like a new release book, because sometimes books can be so expensive, especially new releases. Like it's crazy how expensive new releases are. So I don't kind of want to put that pressure on anyone. I want this to be fun. I want this to be enjoyable, and I don't want anyone to feel like they need to go out and have to buy a brand new book. I don't want that. I like the idea of possibly finding it in a charity shop or being able to get it from your library. And obviously, if it's a new release and you get books from the library, there's waiting lists and things. So just kind of ideas that have been around, like books that have been around for a little while, or something that you've maybe got on your shelf that you've always wanted to read and you want to read it with someone else. I will say that I don't want to read A Little Life ever again, even though it's one of my favourite books. If that's a book that you want to put forward for a book club, then I don't think I can do that again. If you've not read it, that book has a lot of trigger warnings, and it's a beautifully written book about friendships, but it's very heavy going. I read that in 2020, and yeah. I mean, I do love that book. I absolutely love it, but it's not for the content. It's for the friendships. But I don't even know what kind of ideas I have for November. I feel like it should be another autumn vibes book, maybe a thriller or a horror, but I don't know. Way too many books on my TBR to think of a good suggestion. I'm very open for reading another thriller. Um, I am for my TBR for November. I've never read The Hunger Games before, and I know floating around the internet people were doing Hunger Games readathons like over a 2 month period or something like that. But I missed all of that. And I have been wanting to read it for a while. I've never seen the films or anything. Daniel really wants me to watch the films, so I've decided in November I'm going to read the 4 of those books, hopefully. That's very ambitious for me. But I don't want to make a series, a book club pick, because I don't think that's fair. But is everybody happy with the shorter books? Because I've kind of made all the picks like quite short. Or would anyone want to, like, what's your sort of page limit for a book club book? Because obviously life happens. Not everybody has time for reading all the time, and yeah. I haven't read The Hunger Games in forever. I was thinking of a reread, as I barely remember it. I don't really know a lot about Hunger Games at all. Nope, don't know. Same. Well, we could all read Hunger Games together. Not for book club, but we could all just do it together. I am a bit of a mad person when it comes to series, and I will kind of read them back to back. So I know book four is quite a hefty one though. I don't even know where my Hunger Games books are. I don't know how many pages they are. I've moved. Oh, they're here. I've only got the first 3. I got them in charity shops. They're really floppy. I think these are like the kid editions, but I really like them. I've not even taken the stickers off from the charity shop. But yeah. I'm actually surprised they were as close. I don't enjoy massive books. I know I don't have much time to read or the brain space this month. That's totally fair. Totally fair. Turn of the Key, I think that's about 320 pages, I think. I've heard it's very twisty. I'm actually quite excited about that. A sub book club, the Secret Society of Spines. Yes. If you all want to read together and do the Hunger Games at some point, or discuss the Hunger Games once everybody's read them, then that would be really cool. I'd be up for that. I think anything longer than 500 pages turns me off. I've been enjoying reading books under 300 pages in general this year. Yeah, I generally only read books that are over 500 pages if it's like a series. If it's just a standalone book, I kind of look at it and I'm like, that's too big, don't want to read it. But I've been doing a lot of reading on my Kindle recently, and that seems to help me when it comes to big books because I can't see how much I've got left, which is nice. And it doesn't hurt your hands holding it either. I'm on placement with a community mental health team until the 3rd of November, but they are 3 staff members down and are mega stressed. Oh no. Does that mean that you're working a lot more? But that's awesome that you're on placement though. That must be a really hard going job to be on placement for. I worked in care during the pandemic, and that was hard going. I am not built for that kind of work. You either have it in you or you don't, and yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's all right. I have the audiobook for it. Cool. I'm up for it. That sucks, Steph. It does suck, like a lot. It's like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is big to me. Yeah, no, I think that book's like 700 pages or something. That book is not small. Like, I don't even own it yet because I'm like, I don't know if I want to have that on my shelf. But yeah, but we can all have a think. I'll maybe set up like a Discord group or something for book club possibly, so that we can all discuss things during the month if you want, or come up with ideas and suggestions, and we can be the little secret society of spines. If you like, I'm quite open to that. And we can kind of talk about it and put our thoughts and feelings together. Doesn't really appeal to me either. I enjoy a good Discord group. I just feel like it would maybe be good for us all to just kind of share ideas, maybe share what we're reading at the time. Good for recommendations and stuff as well. I think we've got quite a varied bunch of books that we enjoy. And I always love a recommendation and sometimes going out of my comfort zone. How High We Go in the Dark was definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's not something that I would want to read again. Sort Up, it's a lot of paperwork, which as someone with dyslexia, it stresses me out. Getting it right, it's older adults, so it's interesting but tough at the same time. Yeah. But do you know something? It's amazing that you are doing that job and you're probably making people's lives better every day. And I think that's amazing. And I think it's also amazing that you are pursuing a career where you do have dyslexia and you're still pulling through and carrying on and not letting it get in your way. I think that's also so commendable. Yeah, you should be proud of yourself, Steph. I hope it gets better for you, Steph, or at least less stressful. Yeah, I hope that soon you are back to a full team and you're not as stressed. And I take it placement, that means you're studying as well, so that is probably quite a lot going on. But yeah. Well, I'm glad that we've ended on such a high note. And I'm very glad that everybody has come to join again, even though there's been a lot of fuck ups with whatever's going on with StreamYard and my YouTube saying what time it was at. Thanks. I'm only in second year of a third year uni course, so still a while to go. It's been less stressful this week. Well, I'm glad. I hope the week ahead is a lot less stressful for you as well than it was this week, even though I know it's going to suck when you see people down. But yeah, I'm going to go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'm very excited to read The Turn of the Key. I will sort out a Discord. I will private message you both on Twitter with a link. It'll probably be tomorrow when I set that up, but we can start discussions and things. Also, if there's anyone that you would like to send or let them know about the book club, then let me know, because it would be great to build our little community. It's also my birthday next weekend, so I hope I'm feeling better by then and be able to get back to my TBR. I hope you have a lovely birthday, and I hope you do feel better, and I hope that you can go back to enjoying life and not have the sucky C word. Fun as always. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much as well, Steph, and I will see you all next time. And happy reading The Turn of the Key. I'm very excited to talk about that. Like I said, tomorrow I will set up the Discord and I will message it to both of you on Twitter. See you next time, if not before then, but happy birthday for next weekend. Perfect. I will see you all later. Have a lovely evening, day, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you later. Bye.